Okay, I'm gonna start my video here. Green car that side, red car in the distance, and another red car here. The rest don't matter. Although there is an old man in that Mercedes-Benz that just passed now. That reminds me of a vision I had last night, but we will get to that in a little while. This is Leroy Merlin, and as I'm showing you Leroy Merlin, there's a silver Haval double K number plate that just passed, which means this place is Var Krayembradea. Well protected. Leroy Merlin. If someone can look that up for me as to where. I'm wearing the green today. Similar to the colors of this place. Leroy Merlin. Leroy Merlin. Someone can find out the origins of this company. There's a bird that is flying by. It seems significant because when it flew by, something pulled me. So there's a green, there's a truck. So already there's a lot happening. There's obviously some people here who look for employment from people that come out from this place. Blue car. So that is, so they do construction and other things. So the people around here are the ones who are hoping to get employment from that place. Leroy Merlin. Serai, we'll come back to that word soon. It is just the starting point for today's ministry. Starting point for today's ministry. Okay, so Rai, blue golf, red golf, green golf. So 3 colors of a golf: the blue, the red, and we're gonna move towards the green now. So blue, red, and green. Blue, red, and green. These guys are obviously all in green. There's 2 blue, green, and Sabara. Centrai Verando. Red pickup. Then painting the wall white. And then this white wall now becomes significant for whatever reason. This white wall. Woo. And white car passes, white bike, white car this side. So the white is significant. Colors become significant when something tells you it's significant. And then the black with the 13. Serai. Rowcraft. So for me, though I might take notice of, for instance, red, which speaks danger, which speaks whatever it is, the spirit must confirm what the color means. So again, white, that car is white, black, and the number 13 again. So 3 is coming up. 3 with his truck. There's serpent here somewhere. And I believe it has to do with this gentleman there. There's a serpent there somewhere. Serpent. Serpent, serpent, serpent. So again, there is a lot of things moving, but not all of it is significant to me. I am paying attention to everything that is moving, but I wait for what my spirit says. Take note of this, take note of that. Take note of this, take note of that, which is something you also need to do when you move. Woo! I just tripped. And there is something then. It is those guys that I was pointing my camera towards just now. The trip or the fall is related to them. So Rande Bryce, Kanara. So just take note of what the Spirit is trying to direct you towards. The red Havel 46, JZ, KV. And then this gentleman taking care of something. Sarnem Rodevo. Soranda. Cutting some branches. Cutting some trees. Cutting some trees, cutting some trees. Cries. Is the number plate on that word, on that car? Sarai. Taking note of the wind a little bit. It has picked up here where I am. So I'm trying to, it's actually picked up significantly where I am. So I'm trying to figure out how this wind is moving and why it's moving. It could be nothing, it should be something though. But again, it could be nothing. Again, I try not to overanalyze. I do try to, by all means necessary, try to inform myself that it could just be a natural phenomenon. And that there's nothing significant to it. But even when I do that, I still do take note. I still do take note. I can taste blood. Blood. Blood, 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 blood. As I step on this traffic circle and back, there is broken glass here and there is a Coca-Cola. 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 There is a red cape there in that place. And there is a red car moving in that direction. And. So the red, the Coca-Cola, which is the red and the white, and that is a money truck in the white. So those two, those three, is there anything else here? Seems significant to me. Sarai, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Also known as Coke. Also known as Coke. And I think we know what Coke is in the world of the drug industry, but it itself as a brand is something of a drug. The sugars, the sugars. And as you can see at the top of that place, I won't see it very well, my camera work is never good, but there is a Coca-Cola bottle next to a Dragon energy drink. And I think you know the last time I spoke about a dragon on the mountain, it signifies or represents the dragon. So the Coke and the Dragon are in the same league, is my interpretation of that. So the red and the white. And there was a red and white, someone who follows my ministry, who did a spiritual walk of her own, took note of a red and a white cow, which was significant. And if you can see, so now I'm using her signs that she gave me. If you can see, that truck is also red and white. So that sign was given to me by someone in the States, and I'm gonna take it from there. Your feedback feeds into me. 969 was that green car, orange, white. There's a lot of colors here and they're all mismatched, so it's hard to tell which one to go on. I don't know which sign to follow. So orange, right. There's not much to go on today, I'm not gonna lie. But this car, I think, is the sign I was looking for. It's 13, and it's written Gateway. So the name of the school is Gateway, and that is something I'm hoping to traffic circle, hoping to find gateways into the other realm, to the other world. So I mentioned the woman was in the States, and that is an American car, so Sarnembroy, and it is following, the red and the white is following a black Mercedes. Seramontrai RKI. My tongues are shifting here, which means I'm entering a different atmosphere, and you can see the wind is moving, and the BMW just came out of this place and is about to come around in the circle. We saw a black, and not too far is the Porsche. The Porsche has been the word for the season now. We moved away from the 46 again, so that is significant to me. The 46. So I encourage you as well, if you watch my videos, as the Bible says, be doers, not just hearers. Be doers. These things I'm showing you, Italy on that car. So that's green, white and red. So the white and the red that I received from the lady in the States I'm referring to, plus the green, which is what I'm wearing, the green. So I'm gonna use those as my starting points. River, but I won't show you too much of that. Sarando, because there are spirits there and I don't want to deal with them today. So the green, the red, the white and the green. So now I'm in the spirit. As usual, the security. And I just tripped, but I tripped in the spirit. So Raya and that car just bumped this rock. I'm gonna pick these two up. If you remember the last time a rock came into the picture, my glass got shattered, so that car bumping into this rock, which if it was at the right angle, it was gonna fly towards me, is significant. And that's just after I said I tripped in the spirit, which means where I am, there is death here. And I'm surrounded by two new complexes. I won't show you too much because, again, spirits. And I'm not ready to deal with these spirits yet. Yes, as high as I am, there are still spirits that I am not capable of handling. So it's best to leave those alone. I don't go into every single battle. That is unwise to do that. So likewise with you as well, I do encourage you to challenge the spirits around you, but also discern. That is key. Obviously, I won't teach you anything that will put you in a place of danger. Burger King. But always in your own spirit, discern. Discern. The place is called The Falls, which is what is being built on that side, but I won't show you too much of that. So where I fell, the place is called The Falls. So like that again just signifies that whatever is coming here, because people haven't moved in yet, I need to prepare for it. I need to prepare for it, but something is coming. Something is coming. Okay, now I'm walking backwards. It's a bit of a hill that I'm walking up. So walking backwards. There's a butterfly in front of me. It's two white Mercedes, if I'm not mistaken, yes, that are coming up the hill, 66, which you know is the devil's number, 66 SMY, and all white, so white, and then two silver cars. This is turned over, as you can see, white. So I'm gonna turn this over in a moment and see if it's of any significance at this corner, because that's probably gonna decide for me which way to go. Volvo. Okay, and I'm turning it over. And what does this say? Bringing comprehensive healthcare. So healthcare and diagnosis, HIV, diabetes. Oh my goodness, those are a lot of words. Which probably speaks about what's coming here, mind you, because as I said, it shall be revealed soon. And I believe the white, I turned it over, is what is significant of, now I can't even speak, but anyway, HIV, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, vision, breast cancer, pap smear. So even though these guys say that they are going to be dealing with these things, more often than not, they are the ones spreading those things. Something about this car that's not right. So whatever's coming here, sickness and disease is going to soon follow. Which way? Okay, I'm just gonna go in this direction. There's another Coke bottle, plastic. The world is kind of complaining about plastic, but Sarando. Here or this way, I'll go straight. There's a path there, but I'm more attuned to go in this direction. I'm hoping to throw this away somewhere because it does not feel right on my hand. Integrated professional health. It does not feel right in my hand. But again, Sairendo, it is well. it is well. So the question is, do you go looking for the spirits or do the spirits find you? It's a bit of both. The spirits are always already there by nature. The spirits are always there by nature. It is just about you now discerning. Ford pickup 66, 19 July. I don't know why that 19 picked up, but the 19th of July is my sister's birthday. So we shall see if that is significant anyhow. But when I saw the 19 on that card, July came up. And that is my firstborn's birthday. Sister, no child. That is, sorry, I'm deep in the spirit now. I'm trying to catch myself. There are spirits that are already wrestling with my spirit right now. Fudge. So even these that I just walked past, I actually struggled to go past that tree. It's as if they're trying to hurt me. They're trying to hurt me. I can hear or I can sense tears on somebody. I can hear again that Mini Cooper significant to me. I can hear or sense tears on somebody. What are you crying about? What are you crying about? What are you crying about? So green, white, and red. At this corner, Sandroy, Peraza, Mandroy. I'm gonna go. Oh, there's no way for me to run. But I can sense I'm in a bit of a sarando. But it is well, it is well, it is well, it is well, it is well. What are you crying about? There's someone who's in tears that I sense in the spirit. What is your concern? 64 blue. 64 blue. Just want to see. Is anything significant? Catholic Archdiocese of Johannesburg. I really just stepped aside so that the gentleman ahead could pass. That is new. Green Mercedes. Green and red. Something about this tree here, Perai Nesandro, that I won't investigate as yet, but there is something. You would know this initially, those 24 minutes in, I'm still in the observation stage. So I haven't engaged with any spirit. Something about that car. Something is not right here. And the gentleman in that car all turned towards me as well. And CK will be my brother's initials. Something is not right here at all. So now I need to decide whether to engage with the spirits or not, but something is definitely not right. And another red BMW, blue, red again, Volkswagen, and 33 with the green, and again another Mini. So green 33, blue Toyota, green Haval, and that one sticks out because the back windscreen was broken. So if you remember, my windscreen got broken, and that green Haval, the black wind screen from the back, is broken. This car is damaged at the front, so it had an accident, and another Haval, this one is blue. Again, Italy once again on that, there's a flag on the car, Italy. So the red, I need to remind myself of the ones that I'm following. The red, the white, which I got from the States, and the green. And combined, that is Italy. That is Italy. Italy, Italy, Italy. Now I wonder if there's something happening in Italy, or if this place is influenced Italian style restaurant. I think I need to find an Italian restaurant either around here or somewhere. Italy. My lips are dry. Please excuse my over-exaggerated Salamandro orange. The orange now is picking up here because there's a man on a bike coming from a distance. There's a lot happening here actually. Another red BMW, so there's a red, third red BMW, and a man in orange that is cycling here. Jeep. This place, this house, something is not. Oh, I'm being pushed towards the wall here. Somar Nandre. So things are beginning to speak now, and they're speaking very fast. They are speaking very fast. So there's something not right with that house. I'm not gonna show it to you on camera. I hope you saw enough, but something is not right there. My stomach is turning. Speaking of turning, silver, Volkswagen bus, silver, turning towards the left, so I'm gonna follow that path. So, things here are moving very quickly. The 66 BB. So Sarnem Brodea. As you can see, the number plate is 66. Again, for me, signifies the devil is near. So the devil is near, nearby. I can sense insanity here. Like there is insanity. These are the kind of spirits which I was speaking to you about with your children, the ADHD, the attention deficit disorder, the hyper energy, and the inability to control themselves. That is a spirit, most cases, if not all of them. And this kind of spirit that I'm detecting now, this madness, it's a very fast spirit, which is what happens with these children. They have too much energy built up inside of them. Those are spirits. Those are spirits. Which then would bring this word that I'm still carrying it. I was going to throw it away somewhere into the fold. Because these are also spirits. Every disease is a spirit. Every disease is a spirit. Tetelestai, before the security guard catches a wind of me recording. Tetelestai, I believe that is the Lord saying, it is finished. If my interpretation of that word is right, it is finished. That is what they say the Lord said on the cross, Tetelestai. I believe that is the Greek version of it is finished. It is done. It is finished. It is done. Sembrai Sehora. Alright. Witchcraft is afoot. Witchcraft is afoot. And they are the kids I'm speaking about. So these are transportations bringing kids from schools and they're dropping them off at home. So there's madness here in the places that they're returning to, but there's also madness in the schools that they attend, because there they meet other children who are hyper, and that spirit comes upon them, and your child comes home hyper all of a sudden, and you wonder where it is, because something is Doctor. That's the number plate on this car. Doctor. Speaking of, doctor. So again, that becomes significant. And though this place says harmony, it's anything but harmony. I am doing this again. This is how I'm seeing myself. My spirit is shifting, which means they're very aggressive spirits here. The man that just walked past, there was a stage, if you recall, at the park. There was, I won't go back to it, but I might put the link in the video. But there was a man, I've seen him twice. One, I've seen him in a vision. He was walking around with a dog and was very aggressive. He was trying to attack me. And there was also a moment when I had a battle with him and his friend at the park. So I don't know what they do when they get home, but they are practicing black magic of some kind. My spirit and my voice is echoing here now for whatever reason. But this place that I just walked past is a gateway. So all of this, okay, the one rock just fell now. The one that I picked up earlier. So all of this is a death. This whole place is a gateway. I don't think I will be closing it now, but that is a gateway. So that was madness. That was hyper. That is mental illnesses. But again, the woman with the dog too, oh my God. I think I'm flowing into something else, which is even quicker. Anyway, so I'm gonna drop this somewhere. Zemara Nonre. Deposit it for something else. Sorry. I picked this up, which is the Teen Titans. So if this has to do with children and their madness and their hyper, then I believe this, the Teen Titans, because if you ever watch that show, and I hope your children don't watch that show, those people are insane, literally. If those kids existed in real life with those personalities, that would be insanity. The Teen Titans, which if you watch the show, and if your kids watch the show, that insanity is being transferred to them as well. Monkey see, monkey do. You might know well. monkey see, monkey do. So yeah, so I think now we are gonna deal with teens, if they're known as children. But again, obviously, if you don't take care of these spirits in your children, if you don't pick them up early, they develop into their teens and they become those spirits. It becomes a part of their personality. We would define it as that's just their person. I can hear someone laughing. I don't know if it's someone that is viewing me or that is here. I'm in a state of deja vu. There's a time I've walked, it's the second time I've walked past the street. And every time I do, there's a cat there in that window. Deja vu. Deja vu. Ford Mustang. Ford Mustang. This is madness. I'm trying to figure out where the spirit is. I think it's something to do with that cat. Something to do with that cat. Sarah? It is well. Okay, there's a car that just... I don't feel so well. Zaine Parnevar Tejafar, and I can't even see where it's coming from. So most likely this whole neighborhood, but something is something is not right. So now you might think that these are spirits and they don't influence you because they are spirits, but they do. You become your atmosphere, you become your environment. I'm fine, but my spirit is struggling to walk here. I feel like I'm drunk, so I'm stumbling. So either there's alcohol nearby or there's just the spirit here, but I'm very drunk. Oh boy. Okay. This I find odd. There's some kind of a makeshift something. This is obviously to tell people not to park here, but the way that they have done it is very awkward. They've put thorns down, this is crazy. Thorns and red and white tape, and this is some kind of an attempt to inform people not to park here, I would assume, or something, I don't know. There is a security fidelity, but it is in the trash, and there is the alcohol I'm speaking about. Yes, I'm reaching into the dustbin, but it's just to make a point. 5-liter extra light white crisp alcohol. So that is just a sign to say that is the spirit that is here. It's drunkenness, it's madness, it's lust, it's a lot of things. And again, a school bus, so that's a staff bus. Sambrai Koskar Nimbrai property. I'm gonna follow the The guy looks angry, but I feel like I've seen that car today before already. So I'm going. Yeah, it's fine. We're gonna go straight. We're gonna go straight. House of Plumbing. I am being pushed towards my right now. And right now, this is my spirit that is pushing me towards this direction. Which means the spirit detects something is wrong and he is protecting me from it. So I don't know what's coming, but the spirit does. What butterfly just flew by. So I am being shifted towards the wall again for some reason. Savannah, which is again the alcoholic spirit. And someone has just emerged from the right-hand side. And there's a pigeon that is now taking off there. Exmar, exprandero. There's a word I'm hearing in the spirit which is bestiality. Bestiality. Adidas. And the Coca-Cola on the ground. So something is amiss. Bestiality, which is man having sexual encounters with animals. Speaking about madness, all things madness. Bestiality, man and animals. I doubt that I picked up the man was sitting at the corner there, but his name is someone I know. His name is James. He lives around here, but he has got what we would say mental illness problems, which means his mind is not right, which is again just a confirmation of the word I was hearing. And he's on an amalgamation. What is that word? I'm trying to remember the word now. It's the amalgamation or something of that nature. He's on various drugs. I feel like I'm losing my mind now that I've seen him. I think that's what the spirit was moving me towards potentially. But I know him, he's crazy, is what the world would say. Something is not okay with him. I can taste decay here on the street that I am now. There is decay, which means sacrifices of some kind. Which is what his parents have done for him to be there is a naval, but it's on the inside, which is what his parents did for him to be in the state that he is in currently. His parents have done something, and now the madness has taken over. So earlier we saw Gateway, and we saw Gateway School. So I'm just gonna go past, since I'm in that area now, and the word is on gateways. This that I am walking past now is Gateway School. So this, in all likelihood, might be where the teens are. I'm still carrying the teen, the madness, Robin, who happens to be in the. So I can still taste death. I can taste it. I use all my senses, unfortunately. Sometimes it's smell, sometimes it's taste, sometimes it's hearing, sometimes it's sight. Right now it's taste, and I can taste. I was tasting blood earlier, now I can taste these things. Ugh, no, and yes, they don't taste nice at all. You should imagine. But that is what I am tasting. I am getting that deja vu feeling again, trying to figure out how I got here, because I don't remember my path here at all. So I'm here, but I don't know how I got here. Which means something is amiss. And I can hear things now talking, just as that lady's talking to herself. That man that I passed also earlier also gets moments where he speaks to himself. Okay, the lady in the car was just touching her nose, which means I need to use my sense of smell now. I was tasting, but smell. There is something I need to use my senses, like a bloodhound. Have you seen bloodhounds when they are hunting or searching? I assume, again, bloodhounds, so blood. I need to smell where the blood is coming from. I can smell bed number 16. Something is not right there. There are droppings here on the ground, so you can imagine what those would smell like. And now the sky is also doing its own thing. This looks like bleach. Toilets. So support after school sanitation, that speaks about school, germs, and toilets. So again, that's what the smell. This smells like bleach, obviously, because it is bleach. But it is what it's trying to mask. So whatever is here, it's trying to be masked. So I need to Fenrai Cabroi, Estroin, Maiskinar. My tongues don't work here. Apologies for all the spitting, but something doesn't taste good here and something doesn't smell good either. And there's something about periods. Something about periods. If these are teenagers, you can imagine that a lot of them are going through hormonal changes, which speaks about the blood. But there's something that these schools do with girls on periods that is not alright. That is not alright. Obviously, that will be in the spiritual sense. That might have been Dineo. I didn't look at her properly. But that might have been Dineo. If so, then I'm definitely in danger. She is a practitioner here on this side. She calls herself a traditional healer here. But something is amiss. And if you can hear the word that I was speaking about, the blood and her appearing, something is amiss. So Saranea, Kembra Fronai, Sharembro de Kai, Samre de Vendro de. These are old tongues, which means I'm catching up to a revelation, because there are no new tongues here. There is this red over there as well, Sambra de, so Sandre Praine Sky. I'm reminding myself of this Santre Menrai Keroi. The red and the white again. So I don't know what they use the blood for. Menstruation blood. And I don't know the words are not coming out today. Ceremony wise, what? Give me a moment. This is the second gateway. Again, it says gateway, so it's not really much. And the security ADT, heavy security here that just says that it's well protected. And again, the Dineo girl that just came past, who I have some Rodom. And I'm being pushed towards, away from something, Burger King again. Shaman Rodero. Serrane record. Something tells me that I shouldn't be recording this. I should not be recording this. Alright, I think at some point another spoke about bestiality and animal spirits, so I'm gonna turn to fit into the environment I am now, and I'm sensing a black cat of some kind, so it might be a jaguar. I'm just going to turn into something, because my spirit now, if you remember the strain on your neck, the stress and whatnots, and Sarambro de Zera, as you can see, there's a dragon here, so there are animal spirits around, and I just need to adjust before I get eaten alive by my spirit. Try to figure out what's going on here. 55 R&R, that speaks about Rihanna. A lot of alcoholic brands here on this ground. So alcohol again, the madness. There's a gateway in the sky here, and I don't want to show it to you yet, but something is pulling me upwards this time. Biscuits. Something is should not be recording this. Something is pulling me upwards. Ferram Rode. Something is not right here. Something is not right. Gaviscon, there's something to do with your stomach. So my stomach now. Samar de Varo. Fine Tregesco Brai. My body hurts. Eastern Cape, Limpopo. So these are regional spirits. Again, those number plates signify that those cars are out of place. Helicopter flying above me, Mercedes-Benz coming this way, and there's a BMW workshop here that I'm moving towards. So this gateway is large. There is something about this place, which means it must be a cover of some kind, because the way that my spirit is jumping up. So there is something else that, and my phone can't even point in that direction. Something is not okay here. 66 on the phone. And there's a BMW at the corner there that says Sky. So remember I said, you probably won't catch it very well, but the number plate says Sky. And there are people now driving into Caucasian gentlemen. This place is a cover, and it's a very dangerous cover. Very dangerous cover. Savannah. Very dangerous cover. And he has to do something with the sky, so it's a territorial spirit, but it is compressed. It is a compressed territorial spirit, which means maybe at night, I'm hearing probably around 12 is when that spirit really activates, but right now it's more on the dormant side, but danger. Okay, I just not tripped, not fell, but I feel like I've just stepped into a hole now. My foot took one step more than was necessary. So there is a hole that I've just stepped into. I'm in the spirit now. The ground is level, as you can very well see. Transformer, I'm walking past here, but I've just stepped into something. I feel like I'm walking in, I'm gonna say nicely that it's mud, but it is not mud. It's some brown stuff, and I think you know what it is, but I am walking in it right now. In my spirit, again in the nature, there's nothing here. Fever tree. But I am walking in some brown stuff in the spirit. And now moving towards as that bus says, a school here, which is another gateway. This place is Fever Tree. Interesting name, but Sambraye. Osnar Nemar Devar. I'm just saying if my spirit has been shaken. It's been shaken this way now. There's a lot of violence here. But it's compressed violence, just waiting to come out. Waiting to come out. Sandre. I'm getting a bit of a headache now. And even though I can hear myself speak, I'm hearing an echo in my voice, so it's as if I'm very, very far away. Very far away, so there's something being locked. Some things being locked up. Fenced in. Locked up. I don't know if I should show you this place or not. It might cause some issues. But the children here, their spirits and their souls are being consumed at this place. So I don't know if there's something that I can use rather to demonstrate. So if you can see these poles here, they have been ejected from the ground. So imagine if those were trees, because that's what's happening on this side, and those were kids and they were rooted to the ground would be to life, and someone is jacking them out from their roots, from the ground. That's what's happening at this place here. These children are being uprooted, which means something is being put inside of them and they will grow into whatever that spirit is. unfortunately. They will grow into that spirit. But anyway, Sambro de Vara, Embra de Scartevai, Emondra de Roya. Just need to decide at this corner which way to go. Which way to go? Okay, we're gonna go up. We're gonna go up. We're gonna go up. There's a man or a child in black. And there's one in green, and he's about to enter into a car that says 66. But this young man in black, I think, is the culmination of all that we have been speaking about. So this is the sign of that place, the workshop that I passed earlier, which I couldn't really show you. But as you can see, this word here, mini. And I want to see if there's one near. There's none near, but that's the car that has been sticking out. Mini. Brown sugar. Lemon. KFC. And this is another gateway here. I won't speak about KFC for now. I will leave that. I just tripped physically this time, so the danger here is physical more than just the spiritual. I'm gonna have to go around this way. I am being followed. Again, these are taxis, so this is the public transportation. There is the public transportation that flows here. Sarmendro. Shara. Okay. There's a hole here. And there's a monster drink in the yellow, if you can see. And abortion. You can read these signs. Probably not this one, so let me go back to the one. This would be your non-regulated abortion kind of places. So if you can imagine, that is sacrifices, and all of these words are tying back to that KFC. I have spoken a word in the past, and I'm bringing back into remembrance to say these large companies, from your KFCs to your McDonald's to your Burger Kings, in the background we spoke about, yes, the human meat. There is human meat in most of the meat that you consume. That's just a scientific expression that you should expect that. Why, I don't know, but there is human meat, but they take it further and they intentionally put it in the meat that you eat. We know about the hormones that they put in their meats as well, but most of these are international fronts. So these are all international companies, your KFC, your McDonald's, your Burger King, which is recent here in South Africa. But they traffic, there is trafficking involved in it, there is drugs involved in it, and there are sacrifices involved in it. So, speaking of sacrifices, there's this young man that's in this car that also does, I know him, about the sacrifice that we're speaking about. And he's got a child, so I just need to find out, to figure out if that child is in danger or not. Alright, so at this corner where it says abortion, women's clinic, and Thatch repairs, that Thatch word should be common for you now. It's where I previously started one word, and I think today I'm going to end it. And I think that's why God says don't record. The lady that just walked by in the purple, because we're speaking about sacrifices, has 3 to her name. The abortion that we're speaking about, they're in the spirit. Everything that you do is in the spirit, which means that even if you think that you've gotten away with it, blood speaks, blood talks, and you have not. So she has approximately 3 sacrifices to her name. If I asked her, if I preached to her, it probably would come out. Likewise, the lady in the brown Mercedes, again, sacrifices. Again, there are a lot of cars here, so it's not like everyone that's picking up. That woman has got a shirt with a large chicken on it, and it's France, which means I've just realized that the national bird for France is perhaps a rooster or something to that note. This young girl here that is walking behind me does not have anything to her name yet. However, if she continues projecting herself in a certain way, but let me prevent that from happening. Let me prevent that from happening. It's quite busy where I am now. Turkey. let me prevent that from happening. So those of you who have terminated your pregnancies, as some would put it, or have committed an abortion, that is blood, that is to some extent considered a sacrifice, which means you need to consider all of the steps that were taken for you to get to a place where you have to abort a child. What decisions did you make? What decisions did you make to get yourself there? Because that is where the issues start. There is blood. And God does not like blood. Sar in Hebraisk Kenara. Because the stain, regardless of the circumstances, the stains stay in the spirit. The stains stay in the spirit, which means it's like they're lining up for something. They're lining up for something. Again, in the natural, yellow mini that just passed, there's a lot happening. I'm trying to this house is not natural at all. My teeth hurt just looking at it. And again, that does speak about sacrifices being done in and around this place. Sacrifices. Sacrifices, sacrifices. Yellow. And the red. Sacrifices. There's a man moving towards me at a great speed. I'm gonna try to avoid him. Eastern Cape. And the road just opens up like that, so I had to avoid him. There's something that he is in the natural is just running, but something is following him, so I had to avoid that collision. For me, it would appear as a collision of some kind in the spiritual realm, if that manifested and I was in its way. Sarai. Searching. Something about that Jeep, something is not right, but I don't know what that spirit is. But something is not okay. Illuminati is what I'm hearing. Illuminati. Which means it probably has links to them. Which is the Pick and Pay truck that just drove past as well. Again, I need to find out who owns it, but that organization that I've just mentioned, who are international, I'm being stretched in my spirit. Now I can feel my hand is getting a bit heavy here. My heart is also starting to shake a bit. And the wind is beginning to something is shouting at me in the spirit. Something is shouting at me in the spirit. Muhammad, Islam. Speaking about sacrifices, Islam. Not a word I want to Red BMW get into, but Islam. Let me follow this path here. Islam is not a religion given by God. Islam is not a religion given by God. Yes, the origins of it, potentially, because I know, you know the history of them. Abraham, which is common, but its current manifestation is very ungodly. Kids being dropped again in the middle of the highway, and there's a woman in red right next to the child. So again, all of this still speaks about sacrifices. Sacrifice. Islam itself as a religion is a cover. It is a cover. I need to ordain somebody in the spirit. Just saw a word similar to ordination, amalgamation. That's what I was looking for earlier, amalgamation, which is, yeah, it's kind of pointless now, but that's the word I was looking for earlier. Various drugs, it's on various drugs, pills, you name it. Again, mental illness is, or was, the official charge written on his prescription, most likely, but it is madness. There's a spirit in him. And you cannot, and there's someone who watches this who probably is facing similar problems. You cannot deal with spirits with pills. You cannot deal with spirits with pills. You cannot deal with spirits with pills. That will not work. You need to find the root cause of the issue. And you need to take it out. I'm getting tired now. It is 1 hour in, but more than that, there is witchcraft here, so I'm being drained in the spirit. I am being drained in the spirit. But in the natural, it just appears like it's fatigue, but something is draining me. My life force is being pulled from within me. And I have a feeling there's 4 people there. But the one that is pulling is, and I just saw a flicker by her head now, the lady over there, speaking about witchcraft. In the natural, nothing out of the ordinary, but Samar Devara. This looks like it's a school of some kind, and it is a school. That is witchcraft, live and in the open. Obviously, she will be doing something else, and this is a primary school, so I don't remember ever. And if you can see the 13, so something is happening on the 13th of May, which is my mom's birthday. some kind of a sleeper's day. But that 13, remember 13, Friday the 13th. And it is Friday the 13th, I believe, this coming Friday. I think it is Friday the 13th. I'll have to double check. Let me see if I can open my calendar without closing the video. Hold on. If I can see the date, it's Wednesday, Thursday the 12th. Yes, Friday the 13th. Hence the witchcraft, hence the sacrifices that are happening in the atmosphere already. You know, witches love that date. Friday the 13th. So this whole school is covered in witchcraft. This is chicken licking, KFC, alcohol, everything just in one place. So there is something in all likelihood that I need to prevent somewhere. Another school bus. There is a Curo, which is also another cut, another cover. Oh, something is telling me to cut the video now. I don't know where I am, but that's a witch. And she deals with property, which means Parevandrea. The place I'm about to enter into, this whole place is witchcraft. So this electricity is crackling. As you can see, it's open. It is dangerous. So electrocution. I'm gonna stop the video here. I'm gonna start a new one, but at this corner, danger is afoot. Even the bird in the background. I've sobered up now. I was in the spirit for a while, but I have managed to sober up somewhat. There's a pink tree. Again, God uses that to distract me from all of the mess that I go through, but whew. Anyway, Friday the 13th, coming up this Friday. Please pray. Please cover your children. Please cover yourselves. And just be careful. Be blessed.